You mentioned not writing the homework sometimes, right? Because you know what's the homework about, right? So I want to come back to David, because that's basically a challenge on its own, right? You're not writing your homework as a learner, because one of your roles as a learner is to write the homework when you're given the work, right? So I want to know, in terms of the other challenges that you faced when we're going into the exams, the final exams as a teacher last year.
Well, with our group, because we were able to manage them from the first day of 2024, it was not much of challenges. The plan that we had in mind was to have them do more hours in school, so that where we have unaccounted hours in other programs where we may not be able to monitor what they're doing, at least that can be accounted for by the time they spend in school. So it mitigated on us having to think that there would be more learners at risk. When we started, we had about 10 learners that are at risk. But then now towards June, we were left with 2. And those 2 learners were the ones that were not able to make it in only one subject. In actual fact, that their class or their group got 100% pass for that science group. However, there were only 2 could not pass one subject, and if you fail one subject, you still are able to pass. So there were not much challenges. However, that gave us room for improvement, and everything, even something that looks perfect, can still be improved.
True.
The evolution of the motor vehicles, you'd learn that the models that they had in 2000 and what they are having now is quite an amazing evolution. Things have changed so much that for me, every time I look at, if I think I cannot improve anymore, I must look at what did this motor company do in 2000 that now they stopped doing, or what advancements have they done that their products are looking far much better, and what will be the next vision for the next 5 years. Things could pretty much be still improved, as perfect as they look.
I mean, just like with the phones, when they started, they were not like this. We're not touching. It was us pressing, and now we're touching. So there's always an improvement. And talking about also the improvement in schools as well. When I started primary, we were using chalkboards, and then we got to high school, grade 10. Now we're using smart boards. That's technology coming to play there. So I want to know the role that technology plays right now in this current generation. When it comes to school, in terms of us getting proper results. What kind of role does technology play?
Technology is a very useful tool for both educators, stakeholders, and learners. You'd learn that there are educational tools that they can use. So the whole idea of technology is the use. I'm going to give an example of money. Money, we can all have money, the same amount, 100 but how we use that determines the end result. So with the technology, it needs to be highly monitored so that it mitigates on the time spent on social media. Technology should be mitigated in making sure that the resources for learning are user-friendly and they are more interesting, so that they do not compete with social media platforms. And we're not saying they shouldn't be social media. However, there must be priorities to say, this is what I'm going to use this tool for. Remember, the same tool has the capacity to build and to destroy. And if we destroy, the rebuilding is always a challenge. The destruction is easy. Losing time after 24 hours is easy, but there is no point of recovery.
Mulisa, because part of the class of 2024, and I mean, with you guys, you are always on YouTube, and you're always using it. How did it assist you?
Honestly speaking, just like you have said, it's how you use the technology. Internet is very destructive sometimes, but it wants you to know what you want. So, yes, YouTube was one of the most contributor in the 2024 results, because I remember, especially in my class, there was a group of 7 people, only boys, who would sit after school there and watch Kevin Maths and Science playlist when we had no classes or anything to do. Not because not because anybody of us wanted to learn something or didn't know, but then because we were bored though. So that was kind of like a sport or a refreshment to us. So if you're not studying at your own, like at that serious point, we'll just open those YouTube videos and just watch them. Yeah, we believe that we'll pick up some things or some strategy on how to solve some problems. Yeah.
And then in terms of, going forward, right? Because nonetheless we are going into the era of technology fully. I want to know the difference that if you're using maybe let's say a tablet or a laptop, right, to store your information, or you've got textbooks there in the laptop and having textbooks which are hard copies, which one is more suitable? Is it the ones which are on the laptop, or is it the ones which are on hard copies? Which ones do learners mostly prefer?
In terms of preference, I can advise on how to use both effectively. Taking notes on the hard copies is very important. Highlighting key important things, and then making sure that there's comparison between learning materials. That is very key. And with the digital ones, the important thing is that there's no need for you to read. There are tools that you can just highlight and move from text to speech so that you'll listen, because once everyone becomes a good listener, then when they're in class, they will not have problems with attention span, listening, and also understanding. Because the point of listening in a classroom becomes if there is pressure, you're not able to listen with understanding. That is why there will be a need for extra support in the form of extra lessons, morning or even afternoon, or even on Saturdays. So if all learners become good listeners, then the usage of technology, hard copy material, or any learning resources will become very effective.
Textbooks are heavy to carry.
That's the disadvantage about them being heavy, né? Because if I
then have notebooks, and I believe that you'll understand your handwriting more than anybody's handwriting, not even a computer's handwriting. So even though something is in your phone, make sure that you write it on a hard copy where you can get it anytime you want. Because the strategy that I also used for last year was that from term 1 to term 2, I was creating my own notes for the whole year syllabus, and then term 3, term 4, I was using the same notes, but not going back to where I really found those notes. Yeah.
And then, okay, in terms of utilizing both the nodes, right? If we look into our township, right?
Sure.
In Alex, it's been a while since, I've never seen one of our schools here achieving 100% pass rate.
Yes.
So in terms of that, what would you say contributes to us not reaching those levels? Is it because of the number of learners that you usually have in a grade, and them not attending all the classes, some of them, because of those ones that do not come to school sometimes? Or is it because of having resources, but the resources are not able to cover everyone, or them being not able to use them properly?
Well, resources are sufficient. Support is, extraordinarily available. So there are challenges that schools experience, but they will not be able to disclose them.
Yes.
Challenges that will lead as far as dropouts,
Yes.
and many other socio-economic factors that have a negative impact on the learning of a child. So in this case, that is not depicted on the results, because we were anticipating that everyone passed regardless of their socio-economic background or whatever circumstances that they find themselves in. There are key factors that are not disclosed because of maybe confidentiality,
Yes.
and to respect the human dignity, that are contributing heavily. However, we try and mitigate those, and we are not saying 100% is impossible. I think we should give it in the next 11 months, we will witness.
In the next 11 months?
100%
Not
pass rate.
11 years, 11 months.
11 months, we will witness a 100% pass rate.
Well, we'll be looking forward to that.
Perfect.
So in terms of, the learners that drop out at the school, right? And also, I know that you've got learners that maybe, let's say that when they're writing when they're doing grade 12 actually, because we're monitoring them all the time,
Yes.
we see that when they're writing their prelims, they're not ready maybe to write finals. So with the learners that we postpone their writing of their finals, the ones whom we say that can write next year maybe, doesn't that affect the pass rate in a way? The ones that drop out and the ones that do not write their finals on that year, but write in the next year?
No, the ones that did not write and the ones that dropped out do not have a direct effect. Because how the results are calculated is based on the number wrote, not the number enrolled.
Okay.
Number wrote
Yes.
is the number of learners achieved above 30% divided by the number wrote multiplied by 100%. So we do not necessarily say that the issues of challenges from home or within the society that they experience are making it difficult for them, then they drop out, they affect the results. They insist and write while they are not ready.
Okay.
Then eventually they are not able to perform above that 30%.
Because they were not ready.
Because they were not ready. Hence that creates a difficulty to achieve 100%. Then mitigating that is actually monitoring tools and tracking will help us trying to give the right line of support so that by the time we pick up these challenges early, we know that that will not have an effect on the outcome of the examination.
And then in terms of, because we're now we're not wrapping up the interview, right? In terms of the learners that did right, they got their results. I mean, with this high pass rate that you have for class of 2024 of 87.3, I heard some of the learners that wrote last year saying that universities are rejecting them because a lot of them did well, but I could have got the ones who did even more better, the ones who got 100% per subject. So with the ones that did well but are getting rejected or are unsure of what to do because of the courses that they wanted to do, they are rejecting them on them. What would you say to them?
Well, there are numerous ways they can mitigate that. It's just that most of our young people, the excitement of wanting to do well and they start doing well in grade 12, that should have started in grade 11 to look into weighing their APS score. You know, if I become a millionaire today, I would want to start skipping the queue. I would want to start be treated differently. But there have been people who have been millionaires and they have been on the queue. So I shouldn't want to skip the queue. Let them understand, or if they did not do things on time, they have enough time to do planning so that you don't hop into a course or a training program which you are just trying to avoid being bored. Because that will contribute to you not being interested in looking for opportunities in that space, and you are saying there is high unemployment. It's unemployment versus employability. Also being able to create employment. Because once the thinking is wired in that direction, we will not have challenges of learners who are saying, no, the university is declining me. The university will give you a reason why they decline me. First, they did not want to decline me because they're giving me a chance. They said, you do not meet the requirements. However, we'll wait until the end of the year if the situation changes. But by the time the situation is changing, already there is no space. Right? Then they regret to inform you. But then now, that can be mitigated. You should not be worried about your gap year should you take a gap year. If you know what you want, don't occupy yourself with things that you know that you're not sure that you want it, because eventually the program of NSFAS that is sponsoring kids from backgrounds where they're not able to afford tuition fee can only offer you opportunity for one training program. They're not going to give you your first degree and your second degree and your third. So make sure that whatever resources that the government is supporting you with, you are able to use them for the right programs, which you know the aim is not necessarily to just get a paper and a certificate. The aim is to become skillful, employable, and also to create opportunities for yourself and the people around you. Now, we are in a generation where we want to produce young people who are able to come back with knowledge from university to advance township economies and create jobs for local people, and also build companies that are going to create jobs and production from a localized level with quality professional staff and human resource that we would have produced from our schools.
Mulisa, do you have anything to say?
So,
because when Said David was saying that they will say we regret to inform you, you were laughing. Maybe you've got something to say?
What I can say is that you just have to accept and don't just sit down, do something. So there are a lot of opportunities, and just like you said, there are a lot of ways where you can make it up to where you want to go. Next year is still a year.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, just go with that.
I mean, with that, right? With that being said, I mean, we've got for the ones who failed, because we do have the ones that failed totally. What's your advice in terms of the rewrite programs that we have, and how do we see the results of the ones that wrote their matric for a second time last year? Do they release them separately, or how do they release them, those ones?
They are released around the same time.
Okay.
And remember, they go to the center where they wrote.
Yes.
Because there is the part-time program and the full-time program. Now, what I can say, we have a learning center. There are many other learning programs that are there to support people who are rewriting. If you fail, it is not your time to now say, I'm done with school. This is my new route. I'm either going to look for employment. They can join the learning center. We are based in Extension 10 Boulevard. So, should you feel that I need to upgrade, because we call it an upgrade, you upgrade. There is support. You register, but you find the way you've registered, there's not enough support. We have a reputation of producing results with people who are rewriting. So we wouldn't want to see people wanting to give it another try and still fail again. So ours is to make sure that they get the right kind of support, then they are ready for the exam. So the testimonies that we get when people are saying, you know what, thank you, we're able to meet our requirements for the programs that we wanted to enroll into, it makes us happy, because we know the line of supports are there. People must not sit back and say, I want to rewrite, but only towards the end of the program where they are able to go into write. Find out a month before somebody saying, I'm looking for a tutor.
It's too late. Yes.
I'm not a doctor, but I know that if I'm sick and stay away for 6 months and I want to see the doctor the day before I die, I don't know miracles happen, but I shouldn't expect miracles to happen if I did not take treatment. Yes. So I always break it down and say, we are offering an elephant. We are at Joburg Learning Center. We offer you an elephant within the period of 8 months. But if we give you an elephant in 1 day, you won't finish it. So let them come and join us, and then we will put our number on the screen so that they are able to reach out if they need help. We offer maths and science support for those who are rewriting, and then we have a reputation of 100% pass rate for those who are rewriting with our program. So they should not sit back because they did not do well. They still, the first opportunity is to do it again and do it right this time around. Then they can look for other opportunities later after they've tried.
And then, okay, you want to add something?
Yeah, so, say David again. He once told me that if what you see is not what you want, don't say what you see. Say what you want, and you shall see what you say. So that motivation motivated me. Like, even now, it still motivates me to keep on doing what I want and keep on striving for what you want. Keep on following what you want. What you don't want, you don't talk about it. Leave it there. If you have failed, don't talk about failure. Talk about what you want, which is passing, and go and redo it.
Yeah, no, it's an affirmation that opens chakras. I believe the viewers, they can go and maybe search about chakras and have a proper understanding about that. It's a self-development practice which helps you understand yourself so that you are able to function in any space. I'll always give an example with Dubai. There's a space called Dubai in the world. where they could not build because of the kind of soil that they had, and also the space was not there, but they made sure they conditioned the space to accommodate what they want. Now they have the tallest structure that we have in the world. So people must not doubt themselves, maybe because they think they are not gifted enough. Self-discovery through personal development programs can also help them identify what are they really about, what is the meaning of their life. I always tell people that the purpose of living is not to die. There is always the bigger picture, and that picture can only be discovered by you because you have strengths and weaknesses that are there to support you in doing the right things.
Yes.
So again,
Yes.
David once said that the environment. Yeah, so the environment you live in determines what you eat. So make sure that you are in the right place at the right time to get what you want. Yes.
And so David, to the class of 2025,
Sure.
what are the words of motivation that you have for them?
Everyone must seek to work hard. Hard work is one thing that will make determination. Now, avoid movement against progress. So when you are busy moving around, going up and down, waking up and going to school doesn't necessarily mean that you are making progress. Check your progress. Am I doing well? Is it working for me? So work extremely hard. Plan your life. Know that you have less than 8 months. Know how I'm going to use the hours in the 8 months. We know the 24-hour theory that everyone's given 24 hours, but you can have 25 hours a day, depending on how you use the hours. So there are certain things that you need to prioritize, and if the most important thing that is happening now is you being at school, make sure that